Welcome to Chan's Logic Mashup Volume 5. I'm back from Toronto, where we had a blast speaking and we accidentally invited 800 people to an after party, and then 8 days in beautiful North Dakota, where we enjoyed a lot of good food and the Caesar drink. If you haven't tried one, you definitely need to try it now. In this first video, I talk about the fact that you need to make sure you're happy before you can make anyone else happy. Hey guys, I have a pretty good concept today I want to talk about, and it's about understanding that you should never let anybody make you feel bad about doing what makes you happy. So maybe you like to work 100 hours a day. That's great if it makes you happy. Maybe you just want to go home and hang out with your family and get your work done as quick as possible. That's awesome too if you're happy. Maybe you want a little bit of work-life balance. You want to be able to do both really well. And if you're happy doing that and you're happy where you're at, that's what's important. What we need to get away from is listening to people who say that you need to do something one way or you need to do something else another way because that's the way it should be. The way it should be is the way that makes you happy, and it's the path that you want to be on. If you let someone else dictate your path, saying stupid stuff like that, you're never going to be truly happy and you're never going to be where you want to be. So when you're doing things, just take a step back, ask yourself, am I happy doing it this way? Or am I just doing this because I think there's expectations that I have to do it this way? If it's the latter, stop what you're doing, turn it around and do what makes you happy and what makes you complete. That's the only way you're ever going to be in a position to where you really feel good about what you're doing and you feel like you're not just trying to live up to other people's expectations. The only expectation that matters is the expectation you have of yourself. And that expectation is what's going to ultimately make you happy or unhappy in your life. This next piece is all about my fifth law of marketing. And that law says that you need to play the long-term game. So number 5 is play the long-term game. And so what that means is, and like I was saying with number 1 and number 2, it's not like, what can I do to get people to click on my stupid Beatty link tomorrow and buy something right now? It's how can I develop a long-lasting relationship, build people to a point to where they trust me and care about me, and then I can get them to come in and purchase my product because they want to, not because I'm tricking them to do it and they're going to have buyer's remorse later. That's sleazy sales, that's sleazy marketing, and that's why this industry gets a bad rep. And what it needs to be is, it needs to be focusing on how can I get this done in 12 months. If you have to focus on what can I do tomorrow, you've already failed. You're already going to have to do the clickbait stuff. So you need to thrash that, pick yourself up, wipe yourself off, and focus on that long-term game. Think about what can I do 12 months from now and how can I map out this 12 months to make sure this works effectively versus how am I going to survive tomorrow.
Content strategy for the long term.
That's right. Set up your content strategy to build a relationship over the course of 12 months or longer. You'll develop a brand. You'll develop culture around your brand. You'll develop an identity around your brand. And then people will care and trust your brand, which is what's important. I think we're missing trust in a lot of brands in today's economy, and we can't have misplaced trust because then the consumer doesn't trust us and they think everything is a sales process.
Okay, let's not get off topic. Content calendar strategies is like a few episodes back.
Yeah, what was that, episode 13?
I have no idea.
Well, if you need help with content calendar stuff, go back like 4 episodes and check out the content calendar episode, and it'll talk about how to build it. I also have a blog, chanslogic.com/news/content calendar or something like that. Just Google it and you'll be able to find it. And now I'll teach you how to actually build your content calendar and how to develop it and do all that stuff.
See.
In this next piece, I talk about the fact that you need to make sure that fear doesn't cripple your ability to make decisions. Hey guys, let's talk about why you're not able to react and act quickly to situations. Generally, it's because you're not able to make the decision that what you're going to do is the right pathway and the right thing. And that comes from a fear of rejection. And so this fear turns us into this society where we have to think for a long time before we do anything, because we have to analyze how many people are going to not like what we did, how many people are going to, what could they say about what I did? Oh, what could happen? What if? But if we get out of this situation if you're in the gym business, like in sales, when you have to go and you have to talk to someone, you have to sit down and explain your service and your product to them. And then you have to tell them this is how much it costs. There's a big fear of rejection there. So we're always afraid to actually tell people what we're worth or tell people what we want to give them or offer people what we want to offer. And we need to get out of that mentality and realize that whatever you're putting out and whatever you're thinking is probably really good, and you need to get into the idea that it's a good thing. And even if someone doesn't like it, that's okay. You just move on to the next person. If that person doesn't like it, move on to the next. Now, if like 42 people in a row don't like it, you probably got some shit that's messed up and we need to fix that. But the key point here is we need to look at rejection as something that's good, something that keeps us on our toes, something that shows us that not everything we're doing is always correct, which is the way we need to be. We need to understand that we're always trying to put ourselves out of business, and we're always trying to forge new pathways and figure out new ways to do things. And the only way to do that is to understand that sometimes it's not going to work. And when it doesn't work, that's when you have to look back and say, all right, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? How can I change it next time? I think the action of inaction is the result of the fact that we're so afraid that someone's not going to like what we do, and we're so terribly afraid to the point of being petrified that we just don't do anything. And so as a society, we stop doing everything altogether because we think someone's going to say something bad, or someone's not going to like what we do, or someone's not going to buy what we're selling. But that's part of the game. Once you understand that's part of the game, you can move forward. You can start asking people questions. You can start putting information out. You can put blogs out, little videos out like this. And your ultimate goal is to spread information and to get what you're doing in front of people versus just consistently being afraid and never actually doing anything. I always say execution is gold, ideas are shit. So stop thinking about everything and start actually doing stuff. And start doing stuff, you got to stop being afraid of it. In this piece, I talk about Google Posts, a new feature that makes search social on Google. Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video today to talk about a new feature that's been released by Google. I think it's actually really cool, and they're finally capitalizing on their strengths, which is their search, versus trying to create a new social network like the disaster of Google+. And so what they're doing is, rather than copying what other people are doing, they're trying to make their Google search network more social. And what they've done is they've created this thing called Google Posts. And so what you can do now with your local businesses, you can go into your Google My Business app, and you can create an actual, almost like a status update you would do for your business on Facebook. So you can put a picture, you can use one of the GIFs, you can use a video, and then you can link them to a website, and then link them to a Learn More button, or get them to click away. So now what you're doing is, when they're searching for what your business offers locally, they're going to see those organic status updates that you're putting out, which is really neat, because now they're creating their Facebookifying Google. So you can actually update status. It's almost like a Twitter on Google as well. And so what I would do with this, and the way I would capitalize on this, is start doing this now, test it, see if people are reacting to it, and then make adjustments and modifications off that. But when people are searching on Google, they have the intent to purchase something, or they have the intent to want to find something. So what you can do is you can create those little posts and those updates around a workshop you might have going on. You can make the updates around a free consultation or an intro session or whatever it is you offer to get people in your door. You can get people to subscribe to your email newsletter. You can link them to your content, but you should strive to do at least one post from Google My Business a day, because now you're going to create that organic environment in your search results. It's not just going to be this static thing, it's going to be a bunch of different updates. And this shows up in not only Google in the actual search, but it's also going to show up in Maps. And so when they're looking at you and several other businesses, and you're the only one who has those organic posts up where they can actually learn and understand and laugh and do all the things that they want to do to really get to know your business, you're going to be the one they choose because you're the only one who's doing it. So go check out Google My Business. Go on your Google My Business app, check out Google Posts, start making some posts, start paying attention to what's working and what's not, and then let me know how it goes. I think this is an incredible opportunity, and Google has really outdone themselves in their ability to make search social. This is what they needed to do from the beginning, and they finally figured it out. Thank you for listening to Volume 5 of my weekly mashup. I'm going to be doing 2 speaking events at the CrossFit Games at Sanctify Fitness. So if you're down there, definitely hit me up to check them out. Then I'll be in Vegas on August 18th. So if you're in that area, hit me up. I'd love to meet up with you and hang out and talk a little bit. Thanks again for listening. P.S. You know what would really make my heart smile? A review on this podcast. Thank you.